Welcome back to Archero 2, and today we will test the sword build. We will get the strikes, the flying swords that will turn into dragonflight and decimate the enemies, which is a unique build but pretty interesting, so let's adjust the runes specifically for that. We will need all the strike runes that we can find: ricochet strike, then the one that's called the dragonflight sword, which is a must because it makes those strikes really powerful when they turn into the dragonflight. Basically, they deal more damage, they add tracking to them, and they become slower as well. You will see as we go through the runs. And then for the ability rune, Sword of Time for extra swords, and of course strike potion because it will allow us to get more strikes. So basically we get all the strikes that we can get. And for special effects, I will still run the arrow build as the main one because we might not get lucky with that stuff. If you can get edged rune for strikes, that will help drastically. Sword strike split will allow sword strike chance to split into 3 mini strikes when they fade, basically when they hit the enemy, I think. And that will do quite a lot of damage, and also strike damage right here. So yeah, that will help. We don't have that right now, so we will go with what we have. For the equipment, it doesn't matter that much. For this build, you can use anything, since our focus will be on getting the sword strike damage. Personally, I feel that this build works really well with the arrow build because it adds a bit of usability for that. So we have the Abyssal Tide right now. So let's go try to do the run in the chapter with that build. That will be really interesting to see how it will work. And we get a sword strike straight away every second. That will give us even more sword strikes. This area is pretty tiny, so that will be really useful. And as you can see, we're already getting quite a lot of those guys running around. The thing is, there are a lot of potions on the ground here, so it will be way easier to get the swords, and especially since the area is tiny, it will be easy to pick them up. The problem will be avoiding the enemies though. So let's get the meteor potion for the frost meteors. That will help us to freeze the enemies and deal more damage to them. I wonder if we'll be actually able to finish this run with the low damage bonuses and like all that stuff, but I think we'll do our best. Oh, we already took the damage right here. Attack power is a good option to go with this build because it will increase the damage of the strikes, but mainly we would like to increase the... Oh my god, there are everywhere. Yeah, basically we would like to increase the potion numbers, increase the luck, which helps a lot, and get as many strike options as possible, like strike on the attack, strike on everything. That will allow us to basically just decimate enemies with the strikes. Our first boss is incoming. Let's take a look how it will go. The thing is, we don't have that rune at a really high level, so we don't really get that many of those dragonfly runes. The build can become really powerful once you will be able to utilize attack bonuses on strikes and multiple strikes and laser strikes. If you get the laser strikes, that will be really powerful. Right now we don't get anything crazy good here. Let's get the shock, so maybe it will help us later on, but I don't put my hopes up too much because without the proper edge rune, it won't be that easy to get all the bonuses that we need. Gotta avoid the projectiles and don't die for sure. The good thing about the strike build that you can move around. Alright, we already took way too much damage. The good thing about it that we can move around, and the strike they will still spawn all the time, and that will allow us to do damage without actually staying in one spot, which is nice. So yeah, the drawback of this build though, even if you get the potion, those strikes, the dragon strikes, they take so long to get to the target. But the good thing that they deal insane amount of damage and they can clear enemies so easily. The DPS output is crazy. Like, that's true, guys. It's very powerful and it deals crazy amount of damage. Let's get the poison. Maybe we'll be able to get all those effects on the runes, on the strikes one day. For now, not an option for us. Obviously, this can barely be used as your main build, because those guys, well, they're good in terms of the damage, but I wouldn't say they're extremely reliable as a circle build or arrow build, but they are nice and they look pretty cool. And they give you mobility. So you just move around, you release the strikes, and the strikes do the rest. All you need to do is just stay alive. You will get strikes over time, you will get strikes from potions, and all that will allow you to do pretty significant amounts of damage. And there we go, the boss is going down. This is not the last one, but that's how it will go for us. Even if you have multiple enemies on the screen, that will allow you to run around and avoid getting hit by them, because those swords, they will spawn automatically over time, and that will help you to do more DPS. The problem is that our bonuses, they don't really help us to get more strikes, and sadly this is not what I wanted to show you. I'll have to give it a go again and actually get the right, oh my god, get the right things for this build. But yeah, it's really good against the bosses where you really need to avoid their projectiles and stuff, because it doesn't make you to stand still basically. So you will move around quite easily and still be able to do damage, just like with enhanced weapon basically, but a bit more DPS basically. Let's take a look how it will perform in the seal battle, where usually we deal pretty decent damage with our normal attacks, and we have the milestone that we managed to reach before. So I'm really curious how it will compare. I thought that it won't be as good. I will try to utilize both the sword attacks and the normal attacks. The best way to deal that is like, yeah, this one. Chance to trigger strike when attacking. This is one of the most reliable way of doing the damage with the strikes, because that will spawn a lot of those strikes with your attacks. Charge. We don't want to charge right now. We want to have more attacks instead, more attack speed or something. More swords every 10 seconds. Let's go. We're focusing on just the swords right now, so I want to just spam them like crazy. So yeah, that allows us to spawn more of the swords. Some of those become dragon swords, some of those don't, but we get the flame bonus that will increase our DPS quite a lot. So far, the damage output is subpar, it's not great at all. Hopefully with this attack speed it will be better. Yeah, look at that! We're throwing swords like there is no tomorrow. This is pretty good already. Let's get the fire sprite for more fire DPS. Double sword strike summon. Now this one is good. That allows us to deal way more DPS. Let's use this instead, level up, and we get even more potions. So yeah, that will do. So now we will get plenty of those swords flying from all the directions. Hopefully we'll be able to utilize that for more DPS as well. Not good. At least we can get the combos and everything right now. Let's get this. More attacks. Alright, so basically that's our final build right now. We don't get everything we needed, but it's still good enough. We get plenty of those swords flying out right now because of the high attack speed, which is good. We get the potions that can actually summon even more of those, and they will fly straight to the target. And the damage output isn't that great, but it looks marvelous, that's for sure. I think in order to get the maximum damage, we need something else here. But 13.7 with like subpar build in comparison with 30 million, which was with a really well-made build with a proper edge thrown, is still good enough. It's even more important to learn those additional builds once you start doing this abyssal area, because here, right now, we get the bonus for the strike damage, and as you can see, it works really well. Strike attack bonus, that's what we lacked in the boss fight. So it will be way better right now, and yeah, if you utilize it correctly, you'll be able to survive for longer, do more damage, and be better overall. So why the hell not? You gotta learn to use all your options that are available in the game. Sword strikes gain main weapon element. Now this one is good. That allows you to make swords, utilize the burn, utilize the frost, utilize the lightning and everything, so it makes them so much more efficient. Let's use the shock now. So now all our swords will use the shock attack as well. So that will allow us to do more DPS to the enemies. Let's get the attack power for overall more DPS. First boss incoming. We should be able to handle it no problem, especially with extra sword strikes and everything. But yeah, in most cases, the sword build is something like an additional build. It's an off build that you can use in addition to your main one. They are cool, but they require you to get some specific skills during your run to make it work really well, and that might not happen. And if that will not happen, you will lose a lot of your DPS, a lot of your combat capabilities, and it won't be as good. So yeah, the good thing about it that you can do pretty much decent DPS without doing anything. They're homing, they are cool, they're flying around, looking great. But if you won't get lucky, you will get screwed really fast. And with the really high attack speed, you can see that you can spam them quite easily. So, oh my god. So yeah, decent attack speed will allow you to have a steady supply of those things, and multi-shot should be able to allow us to get even more of them. So yeah, strike build is a fun thing to try, but honestly, so far, I don't feel like it can be a main build unless you get the really good Edged Rune and will get steady supply of those skill upgrades. Without that, well, most of the skill builds are not that good without those upgrades other than the normal attack one, because you get the bow by default and it's way easier to use that. So yeah, that's what I can tell you about the strike build so far. Maybe later on we'll make a proper guide on that with the like more in-depth details. Let me know if you want that, or if you want me to make content on some other parts of the game. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel to promote the video in YouTube algorithm, and check out the video description for additional links. LD players, you can play this on the PC like I do over here, playlist with the rest of the videos, wiki and Discord and other useful stuff. Other than that, thank you very much for watching. It's been Kosh. Have a good one. Bye.